She was a juror in the Menendez brothers' first trial and is the author of the book Hung Jury, the Diary of a Menendez Juror. I mean, talk about insight here, Hazel. I was reading one of your blogs, and I know that you kept a lot of this history to yourself for a really long time. Then it was time to release it all to the world. So thank you for joining us, and take us into that jury room. Let's start there. What was the conversation about sexual abuse like? It was all so hard to listen to. I can't imagine hearing it and then weighing it as evidence with two men's lives on the line.
Yes, it was a heavy responsibility, and I think we all felt it. Mm-hmm. But the men in the room, it was a classic battle of the sexes. Mm-hmm. The men did not believe that Jose had been abusing his sons. And what complicated that was that Lester Kuriyama, in closing arguments, introduced the notion that Erik was gay, and that's how he was able to describe sex acts. And the men and the judge said that's not evidence. Anything that there was no evidence to back that up. It was just Lester's theory that he threw out in closing arguments, and the men ran with that and never did back down and accept the fact that they may have been abused. The other side of that is it was never up to the defense to prove that they had been abused. It was up to the prosecution to prove the elements of murder in the case, which I think they thought it was a slam dunk case and didn't try very hard.
You've always said that you have believed their story of abuse. Why is that? Was it, obviously, we saw the emotion in the courtroom at that first trial. Is that what struck you the most? Was it the words, their descriptions?
It was a combination of their testimony and watching their body language and, trying to see, did I believe them? It was also the 50 plus defense witnesses that testified on their behalf. And they testified to more than, there were no cameras in the bedroom. There's no proof of sexual abuse, but there were, teachers and coaches and family members all testified to various forms of neglect and physical abuse and mental and emotional abuse. If you took sex out of it, you'd still have plenty of types of abuse. And then we had expert witnesses that testified to how a child's brain develops and how they can turn out to be in fear of their parents, whether or not the parents were planning to kill them.
Do you think that if there is a new trial, times have changed enough that there could be a different outcome? I mean, a lot of people believe that that's the case. Do you? Because you lived it. You were in the jury room. You were in the courtroom. So you know what could be coming if there is another trial.
Well, there was a second trial, and my prediction on that one was that all things being equal, there would be another hung jury. But things were not by any means equal in that second trial. And if they were to be tried, well, first of all, I hope they are not tried again. I hope they are simply resentenced, because I think a new trial would cost millions of dollars and wear everybody out for no good reason. I think that they should be resentenced. But if they were tried again, I do think that the outcome would be very different.
Right.
Because people know more these days. People understand more these days.
I've just got to ask you really quick, if you could just tell me quickly, have you seen the Netflix series? Have you seen the Peacock story?
Oh, the Peacock story is wonderful. I have not seen the Netflix because why would I want to spend 9 hours watching a story that doesn't reflect the truth as I know it?
Okay. Well, there's your review. Hazel, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you being here tonight, because you bring us such perspective. Hazel Thornton, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.